Welcome. Thanks for coming to Open to the Universe QHHT, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique, and that was developed by the late Dolores Cannon. She's developed it over the last almost 50 years of her life, dedicated. Um, but it's more of like she tapped, she dipped her toe in the universe and just could not look back. And that is the reality of the past lives, of the universe, of what she was getting. You've got to check her out. She is amazing. She's no longer here, but physically you feel her. Um, you know she's alive. As when you leave here, you're just, another um, extension of yourself out there in the universe. So that's really a beautiful thing. So anyway, I just wanted to introduce myself. I am Jennifer Martinez, and I'm a practitioner for QHHT and as well Akashic record readings and Reiki. So I love them all. They all connect me to the universe. Um, it's exciting to be a practitioner and go with you under in hypnosis and ask you questions and where do you go and what's hidden in your cellular structure. The chakras, what's hidden in there? Where have you been? What lives that you live that you're maybe working out here in this life? We don't realize that. That's past life stuff. That's why Dolores loved it. She started way back when, and they just used hypnosis for weight loss and quit smoking. And her husband used to orchestrate it. He was the practitioner. And they actually just learned it in the Navy. That was just kind of like a fun Navy thing they did on the side, which I think is so interesting because, Navy is water and water is an element. It's an elemental. It's like fire, wind. I mean, it's an element. So what I think is so neat is that they were always in, even though that they were in their submarine, they were still in the water. And to me, I feel like that counts. That's like wearing winter clothes and you're still outside. Um, it's amazing to be submerged in the water, in the element of water. It's a part of us. It's definitely a part of us. And so, anyway, going back, just past life stuff and what we work out here. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about what we came here to experience and what's our purpose, and and just kind of start there and past life stuff. Why do we have past lives? What is it? There's hundreds of past lives that some of us have, and really it is another bridge to us, another connection to us. We can access it by going under hypnosis. And that's why I love Dolores' hypnosis, because it's so gentle. Um, it's so gentle. And, you feel awake and you feel free. And as a practitioner, I wouldn't lead you anywhere. I would ask you, actually, where do you want to go? What do you want to see? And so there is desires in us all, that there is some moments that maybe we want to see someone we haven't seen in so long, and so we miss them and want to feel them and see them and all of that. And it could just be closure for that. So it's really a beautiful thing. So past lives, holy moly. So like I said, the husband's orchestrating Dolores is there. And so they actually had a lady that they did several times. She actually came in for weight loss and just wanted to have the perfect figure for her husband, who's in the Navy. Of course, because he's already fit. Of course, yeah. So there's already the fight in the mind of thin and not thin, like back and forth. And so she went in there because she had several kids. She wanted to be back to thin again. And she went under hypnosis to stop eating and whatever. And I mean, not completely stop, but like more pay attention to the intake of food and whatever. But when she went under, and this is Dolores's very first book, First Five Lives Remembered. Um, I love that one. That's like my favorite book. It's just so good. And it's got a few of the lives that this lady went in. Um, and I love that. It's so neat that he didn't even realize it was time for this next. It's a bigger picture. There is like the higher self and says, "Oh, finally, we're back. We're in the time zone that we can come in and we can speak through the body." And so, in that way, it showed a couple past lives because it does not just um, speak; it sends analogies and images to the brain that would correlate the brain to respond with what's coming to them. So, like, they'll get downloads of information and or images into the brain, and then the body will automatically it'll come out of the body and it'll come out in a response or it'll come out in a vibration, whatever it needs to do that would help best um, get the message out. Really, that's really what it's intended to do, is get a message to you. And so seeing the past life, you're then seeing a movie and you're explaining what movie you're seeing and who you decide to take the role on. Some of us take the role on and be right in the body and experience it firsthand, or we hover over it, or we bounce around to different members in the family or whatever. And that's really what past life, because there's this consciousness that we all have, and when we leave the body, it carries on. It's an infinite being. It can never be destroyed. It is unconditional love. So it's beautiful, and it's fun to play with it. It's fun to play like have the body relax, the everyday body, the ego that says, okay, well, we got to go to work. And then after work, we have to go to the grocery store and get this, this, and this. And then drive on the interstate really fast and switch lanes with everybody all the time. And the energy is intense. Then pick the kids up and then deal with that and then go home and then unwind, right? Yeah. As we 3D try to. And then, and then do our routine there, because that's then another job, another duty. So that is all your ego mind. That is your ego. That just is what it is. It gets stuff done. It definitely will make sure you are fed and your house over your head, and just things like that. It's a go-getter. It controls the mouth. It tries to control the thoughts, and that's why you're probably having the thoughts of. It's just too much. Sometimes it just can be jumbly up there. Not jumble, but like, yeah, you know what it's saying. It's like, oh, I gotta fix dinner. Oh, I gotta get that. I gotta do that. You gotta make that payment. You gotta. So that's what I'm talking about, the jumbleness. It's like, ugh. Even though, yes, we do have to do that, but you can come in with different energy with it once you understand, of course, and get yourself there and put the energy in and effort in to get that energy there. But going back to past lives, when you go under hypnosis, it just relaxes that part of the body, the mouth, the brain, basically. Um, and then the body follows. It just follows. It does exactly what you need it to do. Relax. And most people are always like, oh, you can't get me under. And I get them under every time, because it's like everybody can go under. And they're excited to go under. I think we're at that point now where it's just pure excitement to do something like this, to do hypnosis, to get Reiki, to get an Akashic record reading. It's so exciting. It's so thrilling to the person, because they're realizing the world is an illusion, because nothing gets them that excited. You don't feel that whole And then when you do something like this, it's amazing how it'll get you that feeling of, I want more. This is what happened to Dolores. This is why she was like, are you kidding me? What is, I just thought you could just lay there and just take it, and maybe you might dream or fantasize or whatnot, but not become another person. Because when they took her under just to say, control your eating and blah, 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 um, she became these this lady became her past life personalities. Like, she was a married to a mob guy in Chicago. She was the mistress. She took on the feeling. She cried. She actually passed away before him, and she was so sad because he was so sad, and she that was her emotion that held her back, because it's really going to always be your heavy emotions that hold you back. So the sadness, the fear, regret, sorrow, just all those ones that are like, ooh, yeah, those are what are going to hold you back no matter what when the soul leaves the body. So that's the incredible part of all of it, of doing this technique, because you can see the pattern the soul has been dealing with. Going in, trying to work through the body and release these emotions. But what happens is you come into a new life, the soul comes into a new life, but it has a whole other personality and body because we're all different. And if you look back at these past lives, any of them, yours, or you listen to people, they're a pattern of not being able to release the particular emotion, and so then they make it work, like, it's not like you make it worse, but to a point it's kind of, because then the soul has to get rid of that too. So what it does is make a layer. You're like in a layer. You have your chakra, and it can turn into layers, and that's why if you go to a practitioner, you can't just sometimes go once. Sometimes you can. It has to be that aha moment, and then it could be once. But honestly, it may take a few times to get you there, because the environment, the energy, we don't realize there's all this energy, and people's energy is going into us, and all of its energy, the plants, the breeze, the people, the cars, the buses, all of that stuff out there, the light posts, they're all energy. It's the great awakening right now. Because all that stuff, all destructible. Our soul, non-destructible. So the soul side is real. It's amazing. So basically, the soul is evolving and working at it. And so it comes in, new personality, new body, and it thinks, great. As far as I can see, this is going to be great. The soul can see into the future and see the path that, through your eyes, that leads you into joyful and happy, excited for life, always having fun. So that's essentially what you want to be doing, but also you have to release some stuff. So that's why people have these up and down moments. The moments of downness is because they needed to release it, and that maybe had to be like that for it to be released. And sometimes we don't release it. We just keep it in there. And so that's another reason why your angels love you so much, and we're all assigned to angel, because it's already so tough to be down here. We forget who we are. We forget we're masters. We forget we can heal ourselves. And it's like, yeah. So we get our angels. They lead us to other people, what you would say light workers, but really we just have our light on. That's it. We're activated. We're ready to go. We went through it some time ago. So that way we would be ready for you guys now, here in the future, right now. Now is the future. I mean, 2024, almost 25. It's more future than you could ever ask for. This is the future now. And that's what's important. And that's why your angels guide you to people like us, or you'll flip on something and you'll come to my podcast or someone else's podcast that just rings true to you, because the truth is now in this realm, in this reality. If you're listening to it, that's why. It's because the truth is bursting through us all. Um, that's yeah. So in essence, coming to a light worker or someone who has any of these modalities in your area, you can always come to mine. I do everything online. You can go to happylioncenter.com, or you can find me through Dolores Cannon's website, as I am a practitioner. Find a practitioner, I think, is on the web bar. So that's pretty fun. And then, yep, Happy Lion, LYON, center.com is my platform. So, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of, I realized with you guys that you really like the past life stuff. So that's cool. I love it because it's so much fun to dabble into the universe and connect to these different lives. And really, when I take the person under, they think they're so like, I could never do that. And it's like, I bet you can. I know you can. And it's like, you're an infinite being. Of course you can. And that's what I love about it. I mean, I've seen, like I said before, I would say I've seen about 12 of my past lives. In my southern one I told you about, and I had a couple of southern ones. Um, so that was interesting, as those are just parallel lives to me. My soul has lived them. And what I was going to say is, I have even been just consciousness. Like, I remember when my good friend on here, Blair, she took me under practitioner. So we had so much fun. We just did back and forth. And my consciousness, I just could see that I didn't need to be in a body. I didn't need to, because once you do them so many times, you get good at the feeling and you then know you can navigate. And that's how it was for me, at least, is I used my imagination first. And then before I knew it, the few sessions in, I didn't even think about it, and it just naturally came into my third eye. And at the beginning, I saw myself on this like really big Ferris wheel, and I didn't see that I was in a form or anything. And that's what took me way back. So, that's part of it, to go way back, see what's at the beginning of time and space, and, the perfect time for you. And so you go and you feel it. I felt like I was soaring. I was soaring consciousness, just going above the earth, seeing it change big time. Um, and I thought that was, I feel like that was probably like, I don't know, the fifth or sixth time I did it. Um, and I felt, it's like I could see the sun the whole time. Like, it never changed. So I thought that was like godly source, the source um, of all. And then I would even see like lives, and I would look down and I'd be like, I don't want to go in that one, because that one um, wasn't a long life, because it was a hard life. Um, and the person, it was surreal. The person would be at the tallest tree trying to grab my foot. And I'd be like, you can't have it. You can't have my foot. Like, I don't want to go down there. And I remember her asking me, is like, why don't you? Or you can go anywhere you want. Um, I think I even went back to Jesus time. I thought that was cool. Didn't know it, but felt like a little orphan kid, or I was a kid. The mom and dad, when I would be by them, I wouldn't want to be by them. They scared me. I remember that. They were crazy, and like the mom was really crazy, and she cut all our hair really short, and we all had really long hair. I had tons of sisters and a couple brothers, and um, and I remember it all chopped, and my hair was all chopped, and I cried. And at first, I was like, no, if I'm really quiet, she won't grab me, and she won't chop my hair. She'll chop all my sister's hair. But then she did mine last, and I hated it. I cried, and in this life, I was little, and my mom did the same thing in this life. So I thought that was interesting that energy in particular, I didn't work out, meaning it did not matter that my hair was short or butched or whatever you want to say, like hacked. I'm sure it was like horribly hacked. Um, in that moment, I remember realizing I didn't work the energy out, and that I needed to go back and see it differently. So, but I thought it was interesting that I went to that life. I didn't even know really where I was, so I realized it was like Jerusalem. I described that setting to a T, but as like the kid entity, I didn't know where I was. I had no clue. And that was a trip, because I'm sure that's how they felt at that time. If you think about it, right? Like, little kid, why are they there? Where are they? And maybe some of them have schooling and they know, but I felt that we were poor, and that the mom and dad lost their way, and the dad and mom were the like beggars. I kept saying that they were beggars, and I don't go home because the mom is crazy. Yeah. And then Jesus came, but I didn't get to really see him. I remember the group that would walk around and collect other people, and I would just admire it. But as she would take me forward and stuff, I don't know, I would just see myself just trying to deal with the orphan little kid, the kid that really didn't have anything good for them. Like not a wealthy little kid. And so it's interesting because I actually had a similar life. Obviously, not super poor, but like low income, and we lived in a trailer, and we just did life that way, and it seemed to work out. There was a lot of people there where I grew up who lives in trailers, so again, didn't realize that was anything until I became older, and then I would have friends who live in houses, and even have property. Because where I grew up, you just didn't have property. You rented everything. Everything was rented. So to have my own was a huge accomplishment, was a huge desire that I didn't even know I had in me. So as I'm going through these past lives, and I'm recognizing the pattern, and what just kind of resembles what I have going on now in my life. Um, because I feel like this life is so special. This one for all of us is. It's our time now to blend this consciousness that we so long for, that we've so like pushed away from ourselves, and just really hone in on it, and really send light and love to it, and know that it's a part of you, and it's okay. It's not a weakness. It's a strength. I think that's the hard part for all of us, is that. And I think that if you put the effort in and you go to a practitioner, or you can come to me, and we can do it right here online, because I do the method. So the method BQH will actually give me the ability to do it online, and then if we are in person, then I would direct it towards QHHT. They're very much close to the same. You are going into the universe. You are going through past lives. And again, you're not going to go through all of them only because there's so many of them. So your higher self's going to know what one to bring forth as you go under and as you relax. Because again, I didn't know what ones were going to come to me. They just did. So that's really neat. And it's so nice because you don't have to worry about it. You just do it. And I love that. So let's see, Jen M. So JENNMWYS at outlook.com is my email, and Jen JENN at Happy Lion Center. So either of those, free to contact me. As well, I'm going to be starting orchestrating small group regressions. Right now, I think I will be starting at $10, probably free, and then go into charging. But I would love to just put it out there first, and see what I get. So, and to just work out any kind of bugs that I present and may need to work them out, like the way I receive payment, things like that. Yeah, and so group regression is going to be so amazing. You will be in a very light trance, light enough to write down what you see. And what I like about it is it activates the right side of your brain, which is all the symbols and the shapes and the downloads, which is what you want, because that's what's going to come to you. And it's so neat to orchestrate something like that, because it really essentially opens your third eye, opens your doorway to that path. And I love that. I think that's phenomenal, because we all deserve it. We all deserve our connection. And our connection's all waiting for it. That's the cool part of it. It's like literally, they're all waiting for you to connect to them. And that's past lives, that's your angels, whoever else on the other side that you'd love to connect to. But yes, so past lives, yeah, they, to me, it's the coolest thing that I think humans can't do is tap into. Sorry, I'm over my highway. What I like about past lives is you can just tap, and you tap into it, and it can be anywhere. It can be in this universe, it can be on this planet, it can be on another planet, it can be in a parallel life. It's so neat what comes, and even just the session that I did the other day. Um, we had our little event, and when I did a group of people, it was definitely different. So I'm excited. I won't get too off course. I'm meaning to talk about past lives today, and just why we can see them, why we have access to them. And it's because the time is now. It's time now to connect. I love it. It's so exciting. So, and you receive healing and release, and you just feel better. It's like a ton of weight off your shoulders. Yeah, so yeah, I just love them. That's for sure. So if you're interested ever in any session, you could go to happylioncenter.com. I would love to help guide you to just a better you, a better. You just want to be able. You don't. If it's like if we've been miserable most of our lives, that's only fair that we find joy and happiness where we can, where we can. That's the illusion to think you have to be miserable your whole life. It's just an illusion. It's not real. So just know that if you hear this, if you have a strong inkling of it, connect, find a practitioner, contact me, whatever works best. I always say contact me because I always feel like if you're drawn to me, that's because for a reason, and law of attraction. And hey, I'm the one that might be able to help guide you, and that would be nice. But perfect. I think I am good. I will hope you guys have a great day. I just wanted to do a little bit more information on past lives, and I feel like I kind of did that. Don't want to overdo it because I feel like that was just right. I know that light is always, that you're always connected to it, and that just give it a couple of deep breaths and you can get through it, and it'll be okay. And that's the truth of it, is it'll be okay. So enjoy your day. Um, when negative thought comes, try to do a positive one. That's the best um, advice. And know that you can always be a better you. We always can be, and we always can keep learning and always continue exploring and having fun. And past life regression is so fun. And so I'm going to be doing a past life regression group and go through light trance, and you'll be able to write out what you see. It will be so much fun. I hope you can join. We'll do it through Facebook, and I will post some stuff on here. So awesome. Take care.